Good morning, Bunners. I'm here with Findlay Osborn this morning, the candidate for Bunbury City Council. Good morning.
Hi Del, how are you going?
Thanks for your time.
No worries.
So we're actually up here on the 10th floor of Bunbury Tower. So why did you choose this location?
I love the Bunbury Tower. I did some work here back in the day, and the view from here, as hopefully you can see, is just spectacular. I love the water in and around Bunbury, and you can see pretty much all of it up here from the tower.
Yeah, you can. It's amazing. You see the lighthouse right around to the Dolphin Centre and the inlet over the side. It's just beautiful. So what motivated you to run for council this year?
Well, a couple of years ago I got involved with the campaign to elect the Mayor, our current Mayor, and I've been following his progress, and good progress I might add, and I really want to be a part of helping him with his vision, but as well as bringing what I can from my life experiences to council. So that's what's motivated me.
So that's Gary Brennan?
Gary Brennan, yes.
Gary Brennan.
Yes.
Haven't had an interview with him yet. But
Gary's a good guy. He's up for election in 2 years' time, and hopefully he'll do well then.
Awesome. So he's a very busy man. You've been the president of the Australia Coast Radio Monitors for just over 3.5 years, and you were also on the board of Alliance Housing WA for 2 years. Tell us about these roles.
They were both very rewarding. The Australian Coast Radio Monitors is a spectacularly fantastic organisation. They monitor our recreational boaters out at sea and from cape to cape, and they just are all about making sure that we log our boaters in, log our boaters off, keep them safe at sea, keeping an eye on them. My presidency was helping a friend out, as you do, and it became something that was a bit different than I was expecting, but it was also very rewarding, and it taught me a lot about life, as usual, everything does.
Yeah.
Alliance Housing is just really the same way. They're a magnificent organisation. They help people, socially disadvantaged people, into affordable housing, and that was really rewarding. I left that board after needing a break for health reasons. Okay. Did some exercise, and now I'm ready to go and pursue something further. But both Alliance Housing and Akron are really rewarding things to be going on with.
Yeah. Now, this is an impressive list, people. I looked up your list. You're active in federal, state and local government election and campaigns and held office-bearer positions. I'm just going to let you know what they were. So, Liberal Party WA Division, you're a federal council delegate.
Yep.
And the Forest Division, you also represented them as a state council delegate.
That's right.
So that was for 5.5 years.
It was wonderful.
Yes. So Forest Division covers from Yarloop to Augusta? Pretty
much, yes. I think it's Harvey Way, Yarloop down that way. It changes over years. It's about to change again.
Okay.
So it pretty much is the southwest region. It used to go all the way down to Albany, but in the time that I've been involved, it was basically from Augusta up to Yarloop type area. There are a number of branches within the division, and we all get together and pursue the interests of the Liberal Party, which is something I've always been keenly interested in. And so being a state council delegate was a dream come true, and a federal council delegate was amazing, and I really enjoyed those opportunities.
And that's a big responsibility, isn't it?
It was an interesting responsibility. There are bigger responsibilities, but I just saw it as an opportunity to give what I could to the Liberal Party, and it was a sensational time. They were highlights for me, but there are people more important in the Liberal Party than me. So, but it was wonderful.
But you were a part of the backbone, it sounds like.
We have a strong Labor Party, and that's really fantastic. And I was part of that party, and although you value the individual, you come together as a group. And I had a lot of people surrounding me who were mentoring me, who motivated me to want to do these things, and so I see that as something that's been a stepping stone to what I'm doing now. They've all been wonderful experiences, and I've been very fortunate.
Well, you must be very organised, because for the Forest Division you're also Secretary at one stage, Senior Vice President and Vice President, and then the Bunbury branch you're also Senior Vice President, President and Vice President, and then for the Honorary Jeff Prosser MP, you were an electorate officer for almost 6.5 years.
Well, I must tell you, Adele, these positions, a lot of them are voluntary. So they're voluntary positions, and you do them because you love them. And I honestly feel the Liberal Party gave more to me than I gave to the Liberal Party.
Okay.
And that's the honest truth. In terms of my work with Jeff Prosser, What an amazing man. He is an amazing man, and he gave me an opportunity when I needed an opportunity. And I volunteered for him for a number of years, and then I was able to do some part-time work for him. And again, being involved with Jeff was a foundation stone for me to be further involved in the Liberal Party, and then now to moving on to hopefully being elected to council.
Yeah, because you're talking about gave you the experience and the confidence to
that's
be able
right.
to elect yourself.
Confidence is not something I'm naturally gifted with.
Yeah.
It's something that you fake it till you make it.
And you made it.
I hope. Well,
Almost.
everything's a work in progress.
Yes.
And I'm sure council is a work in progress too.
Yeah.
So just like this other baby. So I hope to use the experiences that I've had on council if I get elected.
Yes.
And that will be the basis of what I can contribute to the city of Bunbury, is the experiences that I've had in the past.
Yeah. So, what are your other passions? I noticed on Facebook you're talking to a lot of the youth. Do you have a passion for our youth?
Young Liberals
Yes.
are a marvellous group, and people will tell you young Liberals are ratbags. They are not. The youth friends I have are a lot of young Liberals. They are tremendous, and I was recently involved in a small way in the Canning by-election,
Okay.
and that was just handing out how to vote cards for a period. But you see the organisation of the young Liberals. They do a tremendous amount of work, and I actually admire them a lot. And so my involvement with them is from the Liberal Party, but I really do love seeing what they do. Their enthusiasm is infectious, and their work ethic is second to none. So they're wonderful people involved with. My campaign manager is what you call a young Lib, and
She's a young girl. What's her name?
no, my campaign manager is Michael Prosser.
Oh, Michael Prosser. Okay.
He's a tremendous young individual, and will go massive places in his future. He's got I've got 20 odd years on him, so he's got a way to go yet.
Yeah.
But we have you put politics aside,
Yes.
take politics out of it. There are some tremendous young people in Western Australia,
Yes.
in our area, in our city. I'm proud to know a few of them, and I hope to get to know more of them.
Yeah.
But
And we want to keep them here, don't we?
it's interesting, yes and no, to be truthful.
Yeah.
Life experiences, as I've said, is very important. I see people who have gone away to university, gone away to do things, and then come back. It's nice to have roots, and Bunbury, the southwest, is very much that for me. But I'm big on life experiences, and if that means having our young people get the chance to go interstate or overseas, I'm for that as well. I just think it's what we should be encouraging others as well. If we have people from Perth who would like to come to Bunbury, that's great too. It's just, I think, broadening ourselves is very important, and I've been fortunate with opportunities like that, and I'd like our young people to have opportunities as well.
So you're definitely willing to create opportunities for young people.
Yes.
And to anyone, really.
Yes, I think it's very important that young people have a role in our society.
Yeah.
We're talking about voting. I'll tell you, the first time I came here to this building was on my 18th birthday, because I'm a real election geek. On my 18th birthday, I came to this building to enrol to vote.
That's good.
And I think it's very important that people have a role in our society, one that's not forced upon them,
Yep.
but that they have some ownership of. And just because of the way I am, I felt that they're going to let me have a vote. So it's something I want to do. I want to involve myself. Now, it's different for everybody. I'd love it if all the young people would vote this election.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. It's not compulsory.
No.
But there are things people can get involved in of their own choice and to take some ownership of, that can help them along their path. There's no simple path for everybody. We all have different paths to take on our lives.
Particularly, that's practically for Bunbury, you mentioned on the ballot that you wanted to lower rates, fix the 3 bin mess and cut red tape. Can you talk a little bit about
Sure.
these 3?
Lower rates is important, and it would actually, to speak to who I am as a Liberal, rates are an impost on ratepayers, and if you have higher rates, you have less disposable income. I was thinking this morning, if you have a slug with a big rate bill, you might not be able to do a home improvement. You might not be able to save up for a vacation.
Yeah.
All these elements of a local economy. The city of Bunbury is not something in and to itself. Our local economy exists on business. It exists on people who do tasks, for people, handy tasks. So I think it's important that at Bunbury, our local economy is seen as something that is not just the city of Bunbury's, it's all of our local economy. And so I want lower rates for that purpose. Now, lower rates, we've had an increase of rates this year, as has all councils, I'm led to believe, but ours has been an increase of 3.5%. You know, you've had councils in the city increase rates of 8%. You know, that's an incredibly impost on ratepayers, and so I want us to strive for as low rates as possible. And as far as the 3-bin mess is concerned, it's one of my favourites, and it's elicited a big response. When you're in my situation, you find out very quickly that when you rely on somebody, the work they have to do is more onerous on you than you think, because you're relying on somebody. Now, we've got 3 bins now, and that's a very hard task for some in our community. We've got young, fit people in our community, it's not. But it is a hard task for some. That's my first point that I want people to keep in mind. The second is, we've had a service that's been cut. We used to have a weekly waste removal service, it's now fortnightly. That was cut. And that's, to my mind, and I'm as stubborn as a mule on this one, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I'm all for recycling. I mean, I've grown up in the period where recycling came into being. You know, you turn the tap off when you're cleaning your sheets, you switch the light off if you left a room. We grow as a society, and recycling has become part of that. But we are a modern society, we produce waste, and so to have that cut in that service was, to me, unacceptable. And finally,
The red tape.
before we get to the red tape, I love this one. We have cameras and GPS systems fitted to our garbage trucks. Did you know that?
No.
They surveil our waste, and if you contaminate the wrong bin, the city of Bunbury will tell you, and threaten not to remove your bins.
Oh.
So I'm very big on liberties as well, and that's been an issue that I'm not happy with. And should I be elected, I would seek to have those cameras and GPS systems removed for that purpose, because at the moment it's stated that that purpose is to surveil our waste, and they can threaten us to not take our bins away. And to me, waste and recycling removal is a fundamental obligation of local government. So it's the people who should be dictating to the city, not the city to the people. Red tape, it's insidious. It's terrible on business. It's causing businesses problems here in Bunbury. We have great entrepreneurs. We were talking about young people earlier. We have young people who want to be entrepreneurs in this city, and to carry out business in this city is made infinitely more difficult by planning regulations. And it's not something I've experienced personally, but people, friends of mine, who have experienced this, and it's just something that the City of Bunbury needs to be aware of. And should I be elected as a councillor, it's something that I would want to bring to the council to say, look, we need entrepreneurs in this city. Again, it goes to the local community and our local economy, and we want to make it easy for them to set up business. Now, there's regulation, but I remember when I was going through to a computer class, they say your folder in your computer, if you don't look out for it, if you don't empty it after a while, it gets all clogged up and it clogs your system up. Much the same with red tape. If you don't look out for red tape, it becomes regulation on top of regulation. It needs cleaning out, and that's something I'd be keen on as a councillor, is to say to our city of Bunbury, we have a problem with regulation. Let's see what we can do to fix it. It's not going to be anything drastic, but it's just to let entrepreneurs and business people get on with doing what they do to help our local economy.
Well, they've come up with the idea, which is the hard part, and then they shouldn't have to go through all the red tape as well. That
what
would
it
be
is,
disheartening, I would think.
What it is, you find they run out of both time and money. And while that's easy enough for me to say, it's heartbreaking for people who just want to get on in life and be successful. And I want people in Bunbury to be successful, very much so. I mean, the people who success breeds success. You have, as I said, a trickle-down economy. I firmly believe in something like that. You have money to afford home improvements, money to go on vacation. These vacations get booked by a local travel agent or things like that. So I firmly believe in success breeding success breeding success. And I think red tape is a disincentive to that. And so that's one of the reasons why I've made that part of my platform.
Okay. And last 2 questions, which are easy. What do you love about Bunbury?
I love the water. I don't get in the water so much anymore. It's a bit difficult, but I've got 2 eyes and I love seeing water. It's just marvellous. We've got estuaries, we've got inlets, we've got bays, we've got ocean. And if there's a time when I'm feeling not so good, things are getting you down, you can come up, you go to the back beach, count how many ships are out there, or just look over the water. I love the water in and around Bunbury. Two other things that I like about Bunbury, I like its heritage. We're a progressive city and we need to redevelop our city for sure. But I took my driving lesson here back in the day, and the place where I learnt to reverse park is still there. It's the old store on Sterling Street.
Okay.
And that is nice to have connections to our past, to my past that is. And I do like our sense of community. Now, I personally have gone into one section of the community, you know, just one section of the community, and that's what I've been interested in and that's what I've given my efforts to. But there's so much here, from sport to art. There's lots of ways to get involved in Bunbury, in the Bunbury community, and you've got to love that, because that's good for our society.
Last but not least, what would make you a good councillor?
I believe the life experiences that I've had would make me a good councillor. I'm not saying that I would be successful straight off the bat. There'd be learning to do. I've not been a councillor before, but I've had lots of life experiences. I've loved the life experiences, and I believe that it is those life experiences and my values and my ideals that would make me a good councillor.
And you're obviously approachable.
Well, I hope so. I am, I think. You walked up to me in the street, I think. I've always held on to those things that I was brought up with. Kind, cheerful, courteous, firm, fair and friendly, and do unto others, you know, as you want others to do to you. So if that means I'm approachable, then I'm approachable.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Adele.
Do you know where you are on the ballot paper?
I am second on the ballot paper.
Whoa.
So all you need to do, place a tick in the box adjacent to my name. You haven't got much time now.
No.
So you might have to return your ballot pack to the City of Bunbury.
Yes.
Rather than posting it in.
Yep.
So if you haven't voted yet, I'd like to encourage you to do so. Vote for me and hand that back into the City of Bunbury.
Well, wish you all the best.
Thank you, Adele, very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Findlay, Osborn, thank you.